Hi everybody and welcome to Photomikes Garage. Alright, today we have a very neglected Mazda 5 with a bit of a problem. Let's see, where is the problem? Where is the problem? Oh, that looks like a problem. As you can see, part of this belt is actually missing. This is an old belt. Should have been replaced a long time ago. I got to replace that. Now actually, I had to be rescued last night because that belt came off of my Mazda 5 because there was a crack. I saw that a few days ago. I ignored the crack in the belt there, the serpentine belt, and then a piece of the serpentine belt came off while I was driving and actually flipped the belt right off the pulleys. So it was quite a difficult time, but eventually with some tools I got the old belt back on good enough for me to limp home. So there's a message there. There's a lesson that when you see any cracks or any thing wrong with your serpentine belt, you got to replace it right away. Don't be like me. Replace it right away. Okay, so luckily this is not too difficult a job, and to get the belt off is fairly easy. You actually just put a wrench onto a wrench like this with a, let's see, 14 millimeter bolt, and you put it on like this. Very simple, very simple. And then as you can see, that moves. That takes the tension off the belt, making it very easy to take off the belt. That part's not hard. However, perhaps you can see way down in there, there's another belt. That's right. That's the belt that goes to the air conditioner. That's the belt that goes to the air conditioning unit, which is below the motor here. And that belt is in the way of taking off this old belt. So basically it's a two belt procedure. If you're going to replace the serpentine belt, you should replace the air conditioning belt, which is just down there. So that makes this job a little bit more involved. To get access to that air conditioning belt, I'm going to have to lift the Mazda 5 up, take off the front wheel, and there's a plastic panel inside which will have to come off. That will gain us access to the lower area. So let's get this Mazda 5 up in the air. Always have a jack stand for safety. Okay, we got the wheel off. This is the plastic panel that we have to remove to get access to the air conditioner. So this looks like a bolt here, a clip here, bolt here, and some sort of clips on the bottom here. These bolts at the top here are 10 mil. Just take these off. There's a bolt at the bottom. That's a 10 mil as well. It's kind of stiff. I ended up breaking off this bottom bolt here. So I'll have to use a zip tie to put this back. It seems to be par for the course. Now I just take off this last little clip here, push on, clip, there we go, come on, and there we go. Okay, now you can see the whole situation is exposed. There's your air conditioning unit down here. There is the air conditioning belt. And there is the crankshaft pulley. This belt has to be taken off. And the only problem is that there is no easy way to get this off because this is a stretch fit. A stretch fit. So in other words, it has no adjustable tensioner or anything else to make it easy to get off. So they actually sell special tools to get this back on, but there's a cheap way to do it with a zip tie. But to get it off, most people just cut off the old belt and then put on the new one. Okay, we got the air conditioning belt off. Now it's time to take off the serpentine belt. Now I'm going to remove the ridiculous plastic cover off the top of this engine. Comes off easily, just so that there's a little bit easier access. 14 mil socket goes right on, and then you turn counterclockwise like this, as you can see, removing tension from the belt. And with your other hand, which is holding my camera so I can't do it right now, I'm going to take the belt, slide the belt off this idler pulley right there. That reduces the chances of me getting my fingers stuck and pinched off right here. So just slide it off on the middle idler pulley right here, and there you go. So I slid it off, and as you can see, the belt is loose. We can now remove the belt entirely. Okay, so you just take this, it's gonna go up, then we can now pull it up. Belt is out. Belt is out. Now, next really important part is to make sure that your new belt, this is a Daco, there's your part number right there, that the new belt is the same length as the old belt. And yes, they're approximately the same length. I love this new belt. It's so shiny and tough. It's very strong. This old belt is weak and pathetic. Look at how it's wrecked. Clear signs of neglect. Okay, you want to put your serpentine belt on first, loosely, because then you're going to have to do some tricks to get that AC belt on. So serpentine belt goes on first, but just loosely. Yeah, just sort of place it just loosely where it's going to go, and don't do anything else, because you got to get the AC belt on first. Just sort of have it in there out of the way. Okay, there's our AC belt loosely in its position. Now what we're going to do here, it's a stretch belt, so we're going to zip tie it into position right here. Going to go through a hole here on the crankshaft pulley, zip tie it so it's in its proper position right here. Now of course it won't be on the rest of the pulley, but then we're going to turn the pulley, and as we turn the pulley, the belt will seat itself all the way through, and then you can remove the zip tie. Trust me, this is going to work. You don't need any special tools, you just need a zip tie. Now you need a fairly big zip tie to do this. This one's fairly big. So now I'm just going to place this in position and zip tie it in place. Okay, here is the arrangement. You can see the belt is on the lower air conditioned pulley, and it's zip tied to the crankshaft pulley through the hole around the back, zip tied into place. Got to make sure it's in the proper place right there. I'm going to turn the crankshaft pulley, and it will seat itself on the crankshaft pulley. The one thing you have to worry about is as you turn it, it's going to want to come off of the air conditioning pulley, so you have to constantly, with your fingers, as you turn it, make sure that it stays seated in its proper position. Like right there. So now let's start turning. Getting a little harder. Getting a little harder. It's almost on. Oh, make sure it stays seated. Doing this with one hand. Almost there. Almost there. Gotta make sure that's on. Ooh, almost came off there. All right, it worked. I think it worked, yes. We're on the lower pulley properly here, the air conditioner pulley. We're on the crankshaft pulley. You can see it's tight here, and we're done. Now we can just snip off the zip tie, which has done its job, and we're good to go. The rest of that's going to be easy. Zip ties can fix anything. Okay, so we've got our serpentine belt roughly in position here. It's important to get it in the on the right pulleys in the right position, so I'll insert a diagram of the actual routing of the serpentine belt here. But basically it goes from the crankshaft pulley to the alternator, around the smooth idler, and then to the ribbed adjustable pulley, whatever you call it, and then back down to the crankshaft. So again, we put our wrench on here, but first of all we gotta have the pulley up here, but the wrench is gonna go on here. We're gonna move this in and carefully place it over our smooth pulley there. And of course then you've got to make sure that everything is seated in the proper ribs on every single pulley before you're finished. So here I'm just going to, again, anti-clockwise, move the idler pulley in, and then with my other hand place it around the smooth idler pulley in the center there. Okay, it's done. Now we must check to make sure that the belt is centered on each pulley, engaging all the ribs, and we must check completely before we attempt to start the car. So as you can see, it looks like it's centered on the alternator pulley down there. Can you see that? Yeah. And it is centered on the idler pulley. Looks pretty good on the smooth middle pulley, and we just have to check the crankshaft pulley to make sure it's on there properly. Down here, it does look like it is on properly. It does look like it's on properly. And of course our air conditioning pulley is off. Can't forget to take this thing off. It's kind of stuck there. Come on off. Oh, good. Okay, so once you've done a complete check of all pulleys to make sure they're seated properly, your next job is to start the car. Start the car, make sure everything's running properly. Okay. No strange noises. Let's have a look. Yes, success. Success. Yep, everything's on the pulleys. Everything's on the pulley. Okay, we just got to put the plastic cover back on, and this is a done job. Okay, as you can see, this was a fairly simple job. You can do it yourself. If I can do it, you can do it. So save yourself hundreds of dollars. Just do it yourself. Anyway, thanks for watching Photomikes Garage. I will see you next time.